Growing coffee, now there's a rather wonderful thing to think about. Imagine those glossy green leaves, the promise of those bright red cherries, each one holding a precious bean, a bean that will travel and transform. It eventually becomes that comforting, aromatic cup that so many of us cherish each morning. It's a plant that connects us to sunshine, to rain, and to the good earth itself. Coffee farming is more than just a job for many. It's a way of life, a tradition passed down through generations, a deep connection to the land and its rhythms. The care that goes into nurturing each plant from a small seedling to a productive tree is truly something special, a testament to patience and dedication. But, as any gardener knows, where there are lovely plants, there are often little visitors who also find them quite appealing. Coffee plants, with their tender leaves and juicy berries, are no exception, you see. Pests can become a real worry for the dedicated coffee farmer, a shadow over their hard work. These tiny creatures, insects, and sometimes even small animals or troublesome fungi are simply looking for their next meal. They don't mean any harm, of course, but their presence can cause significant problems for the health of the coffee plant and the quality of the beans that we all look forward to. It's a natural part of farming, this dance with nature's less welcome guests. The main culprits that coffee farmers often talk about include the notorious coffee berry borer. This tiny beetle drills into the precious coffee cherries, damaging the beans inside, which is terribly frustrating. Then there's coffee leaf rust, a fungus that can make the leaves fall off, weakening the entire plant. And let's not forget aphids, those little sapsuckers that can stunt growth and spread diseases. These pests, and others like them, can really reduce the amount of coffee a farmer can harvest. This means less income for their families and ultimately less of that lovely coffee for us to enjoy. It's a constant challenge, this protection of the crop. For many years, the most common answer to these troublesome pests was to reach for strong chemical pesticides. It seemed like a quick and effective fix, a way to knock back the invaders swiftly. But as time has gone on, we've all started to learn a bit more, haven't we? We've begun to understand that these powerful chemicals can have wider effects, some of which are not so good for the farm's ecosystem or for us. Thankfully, there's a growing movement towards gentler, more thoughtful ways of managing these pests. Methods that work in harmony with nature, rather than against it. It's about being clever and kind to the earth. So what is this rather clever approach called Integrated Pest Management, or IPM as it's often known? Well, it's really quite straightforward when you get down to it. It's not about using one single dramatic solution. Instead, IPM is all about using a combination of different, sensible methods to keep pests under control. It's a thoughtful strategy that looks at the whole farm, the whole environment, not just the pests themselves. It means being observant, understanding the life cycles of pests, and then choosing the kindest and most effective ways to manage them. It's a holistic view of farming, you see, which is always a good thing. Think of it like a well-stocked gardener's toolkit, if you will. You wouldn't just use a sledgehammer for every job in the garden, would you? Of course not. You have your trowel for delicate planting, your fork for turning the soil, your secateurs for pruning. IPM provides a similar toolkit for the coffee farmer, but for dealing with pests. It includes watching the plants closely, knowing when pests are becoming a problem. It involves understanding which pests are present and what makes them thrive. It's about using knowledge and careful observation as your first line of defense, which is a very wise approach indeed. Now, why is this integrated approach so much better than relying only on chemical pesticides, you might ask? Well, chemical pesticides can be a bit like using that sledgehammer I mentioned. They can be very effective at killing pests quickly, it's true. But they often don't distinguish between the bad insects and the good ones, the pollinators like bees, or the beneficial insects that actually help control pests naturally. These chemicals can also sometimes find their way into the soil and water, and that's not what we want for a healthy farm. IPM is a gentler, more targeted way, preserving the good and managing the bad. The real beauty of integrated pest management is that it aims for sustainable, long-term solutions. It's not just about a quick fix for today's pest problem. It's about creating a healthy, balanced farm environment where pests are naturally less likely to become a serious issue in the future. This means healthier soil, stronger plants, and a thriving ecosystem that can often regulate itself. It's about fostering resilience, so the farm can look after itself, with a little help from the farmer. This approach ensures the land remains fertile and productive for many years to come, which is a wonderful legacy. One of the most delightful ways to manage pests naturally is to invite nature's own pest controllers to your coffee farm. It's like having a tiny army of helpers working for you day and night. For instance, ladybirds are absolute champions when it comes to eating aphids. They can munch through hundreds of them. Then there are lacewings, whose larvae are also voracious predators of small pests. By planting certain flowers and cover crops around your coffee plants, you can create a welcoming habitat for these beneficial insects. It's like setting out a lovely buffet to attract these good bugs, encouraging them to stay and help protect your precious coffee. Traps can also be remarkably clever and effective, and often very simple too. You can use sticky traps, which are brightly colored sheets coated with a non-toxic glue. Pests like thrips or whiteflies are attracted to the color and then get stuck. Another type of trap uses pheromones, which are special scents that particular pests find irresistible. These can lure specific troublesome insects into a container from which they can't escape. This allows farmers to monitor pest levels and catch them before their numbers get too high. It's a bit like being a detective using clues from nature to outsmart the pests in a gentle, targeted manner. Healthy soil is truly the cornerstone of any thriving farm, and coffee is no exception. If your soil is rich in organic matter, teeming with beneficial microbes, and has a good structure, your coffee plants will be so much stronger and more vigorous. And strong, healthy plants are naturally much better at resisting pests and diseases all by themselves. Think of it like a person with a strong immune system. You can build up your soil by using compost, growing cover crops to protect and enrich it, and avoiding harsh chemicals that can harm soil life. This focus on soil health is fundamental to natural pest control. Choosing the right varieties of coffee plants for your particular farm is also a very important strategy in IPM. Just like some roses in your garden are more resistant to black spot or mildew, some coffee varieties are naturally tougher and more resilient against local pests and diseases. It might take a bit of research, perhaps talking to other local farmers or agricultural advisors, to find out which varieties perform best in your specific climate and conditions. By selecting these robust plants from the start, you are building in a natural defense, reducing the need for interventions later on. It's a proactive step towards a healthier coffee crop. It's truly heartening to know that many coffee farmers around the world are already embracing these natural pest control methods and seeing wonderful results. Take, for example, some coffee growing regions in Colombia. There, farmers have been successfully using tiny beneficial wasps to control the coffee berry borer, which is a major pest. These little wasps are quite amazing. They lay their eggs inside the borer larvae, and when the wasp larvae hatch, they consume the pest. It's a perfect example of biological control, nature helping to restore its own balance without any harmful chemicals involved at all. These farmers are true pioneers. These farmers who adopt IPM often report a whole host of benefits. Their coffee plants are generally healthier and more productive, which is fantastic news. They also notice a cleaner, more vibrant environment on their farms, with more birds and beneficial insects around. And importantly, they feel a great sense of pride and peace of mind, knowing that their coffee is being grown in a way that is safe for their families, for the people who drink their coffee, and for the planet. Often the quality of the coffee beans themselves improves because happy, healthy plants tend to produce superior beans. It really is a win-win situation for everyone involved. Of course, shifting to integrated pest management might require a little more learning and observation at the beginning, compared to just reaching for a spray. Farmers need to become keen observers of their plants and the insects on their farm. They might need to learn new techniques, like making compost or identifying beneficial insects. But the long-term rewards, both for the farm and for the farmer's well-being, are truly immense. It's about working in partnership with nature, understanding its rhythms and its power. This approach fosters a deeper connection to the land and a more sustainable way of farming for generations to come. So there is immense hope and a very bright future for coffee grown in this thoughtful, natural way. If you are a coffee farmer considering these methods, I wholeheartedly encourage you to explore them. It is a journey towards producing exceptional coffee that is not only delicious, but also grown in a way that respects and protects the natural world. It's about embracing a gentler, more harmonious approach to agriculture, and that, my friends, is a truly wonderful thing, a path to a healthier planet and a more satisfying cup of coffee for us all. It's the kind of gardening or farming that truly nourishes the soul.